Hey guys, my name is Nora Franche, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessed Mess Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Hey guys, we are reading from Daily Reflections, page 130, the reading for May 1st, Healing Heart and Mind. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. That's from the AA 12 and 12, page 55. Since it is true that God comes to me through people, I can see that by keeping people at a distance, I also keep God at a distance. God is nearer to me than I think, and I can experience Him by loving people and allowing people to love me. But I can get neither love nor be loved if I allow my secrets to get in the way. It's the side of myself that I refuse to look at that rules me. I must be willing to look at the dark side in order to heal my mind and heart, because it is the road to freedom. I must walk into darkness to find the light, and walk into fear to find peace. By revealing my secrets and thereby ridding myself of guilt, I can actually change my thinking. By altering my thinking, I can change myself. My thoughts create my future. What I will be tomorrow is determined by what I think today. Okay. I know I did this reading at some point and just didn't mark it, but I'm so glad that we're reading it again because there's so much here and it's so good and I love it. And there's something different that I want to talk about this time. And it is this first paragraph, that by keeping people at a distance, I also keep God at a distance. And there's something really fascinating that I've been learning about, and it's the work of Christy and her husband. Christy and the Gaultiers. They wrote this book, Mistaken Identity, where they go through the different ways that we can have a skewed perception of God based on relational wounds from growing up. And it's fascinating to me, and I think it really is like the linchpin to recovery and emotional sobriety, is like healing that image of God that we carry. And the hard part is that it's very like unconscious or subconscious. We're not really aware of the assumptions under which we operate about God. But we can find these trailheads, we can find these triggers, these incidents, things that bother us, that cause us to lose our peace, that cause us to feel restless, irritable, and discontented. Anything of that nature is an indication that we are operating under a God, a false image of God, a false idea of who God is. And the really fascinating thing that I learned about from Dr. Peter Malinowski's podcast, Integration for Catholics, I know I reference it a lot. He has this series on God images. I think it's his episodes 23 to 32, something like that. Check it out. But what I learned from him was that the image we have of ourself, the way we perceive ourselves to be, the confidence or lack of confidence we have in ourselves is intimately tied to the understanding that we have of God, to these images that we have of God, these false ideas. And so anytime we carry a false idea about God, it's connected to a false idea about ourselves and vice versa. So if I think I'm worthless, chances are that's coming from a false idea of God that He thinks I'm not someone worth caring about. And so that's something we get to work on and tease out and heal. Another one where I've just been told, like, I'm just too much, I'm too loud, I'm too energetic, I'm too needy, I'm too perfectionistic, I'm too difficult. Anything like that indicates that we have a God image in our mind that we're too much for Him, that He has a limited capacity for us, that He has other more important things. And that's very painful and it's very damaging. And the thing is that all these false ideas about God come from attachment wounds. Those wounds that we carry from primary caregivers that either purposely or not at all, intentionally, or just from life, things that could not be avoided, have hurt us. And it's something that we all have to work through as humans. No human being has survived childhood without an injury in any one of these areas. And I haven't specifically stated what they are in a while, so I want to run through them really quick. And there's these 5 primary attachment needs according to Brown and Elliott. And it is 1, my need for felt safety and protection in relationships. So think of your childhood home, perhaps, and how that was. 2, my need for a felt sense of being seen, heard, known, and understood. Were you heard? Were you listened to? Did someone stop and take the time to really hear your side or get to know your experience? Number 3, my need for a felt sense of being comforted, soothed, and reassured. So when bad things happen, as they inevitably will, was someone there for you? Was someone there to just sit with you and walk with you through that painful time? Not fix it, not tell you where you went wrong or what you could have done better. Just there to comfort and to tell you that it's going to be okay, or that we're going to walk through this together. And I don't know what it's going to be like either, but I know that we're going to do this together. And things become less scary. Number 4, my need for a felt sense of being valued, treasured, delighted in, and cherished. I don't know about you, but when I struggle to imagine a God who always sees me as someone He delights in, someone who He cherishes at every moment. I know still that I have this deep belief that I can lose that love. And so then if you look at it that way, I have this idea that it's up to me to keep His love, which is an enormous amount of pressure. It's also a heresy. It's false. It's a lie from the enemy. But it's also very sad and lonely to believe somewhere within myself that's very deep, that I have not yet uncovered the reason why, but to feel very deeply that I can lose His love, and it's the love of God that sustains me. And so it's almost like a life or death problem to lose His love. And it creates all sorts of dysfunctional behavior. And maybe one of you listening can relate. The last one, number 5, is my need for a felt sense of support for my highest good. So if I have a sense of something that would be really great for me that I'm really excited to do, it's a desire on my heart to know that this other person in my life who I look up to, who I care about, who I rely on for certain emotional and physical needs, also supports me in my aspirations, in what is good for me. And these 5 points, eventually, the idea is that people will fail us inevitably, no matter how well we communicate and how much capacity we have to love. Other people will hurt us because they're human, because often we have conflicting needs. And so ultimately, the only unfortunately, but fortunately, the only source of lasting, true, infinite security, emotional security, is to have those needs met by our higher power. And that's where I want to go with my coaching. That's where I want to go with the Patreon community, is to really hone in on this concept, on the images, the ideas, the false ideas I have about God, what attachment injuries I have that are related to that, and doing the work to go through them as best we can and refer out when we hit roadblocks to other people who can help. But to do this work and to do it as a prayer, because we know we want goodness, truth, beauty, joy, and love. But something's getting in the way. So let's find out what that is. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you are here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.